You're on Outside Belly. I'm John Fredericks, and I am your blowtorch, your free speech in America. Hey, don't forget to follow me all across social media at JF Radio Show, at JF Radio Show. Also, if you want to get on my email list, we send a Substack out every day, gives you all the highlights, gives you some of our thoughts. Just go to johnfredericksradio.com. You can sign up there. And don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube page under John Fredericks Media, and you can get all the clips there, including our callers, Phill Kline, Julio Gonzalez coming up, and everybody else, all on our YouTube page. We got it back, ban ended, and it's good to have you. But follow me, TikTok, everywhere, at JF Radio Show, at JF Radio Show. I'll be at the White House today, press briefing at 11 o'clock. So as soon as the peach crew's over, I'm heading over there, and then I'll be in the Oval Office today at 2:30 with the president, and we'll see what happens. I don't pre-script any questions because it kind of depends on how it goes, right? See what he's talking about, and then have enough knowledge to just figure out what is going to be relevant to what he's saying, instead of my peers that go in there with a question on their phone that has nothing to do with what he's talking about. Unbelievable. Bar scene at Star Wars, baby. Hey, let's get Phill Kline back. Phill, thanks for filling in for me. You're the man. Kansas City Chiefs fan. Sorry you're out. Titans are out too. We won 3 games. Yay. But we did beat the Chiefs, and I did win $300 off Joe Morrissey, who sent it to me, FedEx, before Christmas. Thank you, Joe. Okay.
And we improved our draft options with those losses. So
I know, right? I know. Titans were picking number 1. We're like number 4. Like, how do we get to be number 4? Oh, Raiders, right? So, look, I could talk about all the coaches getting fired, but I already ate that time up. Although I think Harbaugh should go to the Titans. Anyway, enough of that. Venezuela, what do you think?
Let me read a quote from Joe Biden on Twitter. This is June 21st, 2020, on Venezuela, but admire thugs and dictators like so the president sent a love message to Maduro and court. I think what discussed this is the Democratic Party in America and the American exceptionalism. And they don't believe that when we engage in other nations that we actually improve things there, that America is the problem on the world stage. And therefore, any projection of power or influence states has got to be against world interests. And they are consistent in their interpretation of American events that way. So I think the Democratic Party is lost. And as we've discussed before, and now you're seeing in all these nonprofit scandals, one of the reasons they're lost is because of McCain-Feingold, which moved all of the party or money away from the parties, moving influence away from political parties to these non-profits that are in U.S. politics. And we have subsidized that through the charitable tax deduction. Middle-class Americans are funding foreign partners with the Democratic Party. You saw this, and you're seeing this everywhere now. Within 3 hours of the announcement of the action in Venezuela, you had protesters with ready-made printed signs on the streets, wearing masks to hide their ethnicity because they weren't Venezuelan. They weren't from Latin America, and they were paid protesters to I guess, try to make Maduro a martyr. But this is the new Democratic Party.
Stunning to see them. It's basically run a protest. It's interesting. Mamdani in New York City had 100,000 volunteers. Unheard of. I mean, just a stunning number. How do you get 100,000 people to do anything? They had 100,000 volunteers allegedly in New York City, knocking on doors, handing out, making phone calls. They have all their names. 100,000 is a huge number. Now they got billionaires funding an NGO in order to keep them engaged by paying them. So what you just saw was the tip of the iceberg, right? They're saying free Mamdani. They got masks on. It's all a fraud. But you've got a guy takes over New York City. He's been there 5 days, right? What's today, the 7th? Been there six days. And he's calling for the seizure of private property in New York City, with his housing director saying the relationship between white people and their property has to change. Nothing can be sold without going through the city and getting their approval. And we have to have first dibs on it. And also, we have to set the market price, and if you don't take our price, you can't sell it. Basically, they're seizing your property. What's your reaction to that?
Well, it shouldn't surprise us. Here's a quote from Sia Weaver, who is his director that he appointed. Um, she called for government to seize property. This all the way back in 2020. And she stated that property ownership is a weapon of white supremacy and advocated impoverishing the white middle class. Well, at least she was honest about the impact of socialism on America. It will impoverish the middle class. This collectivism accumulates wealth. Capitalism distributes wealth. And we've seen that throughout history again and again and again. And one of the issues we're watching right now throughout the United States is we're seeing the corruption of government that occurs when we believe that government must solve all problems, that this collectivism and redistribution must occur through government, that charity doesn't exist outside of government programs. And when government gets involved, you see all of this fraud occurring across the nation, especially the government, because the federal government is far removed from the issue. And it's only when you have people who are directly involved and see the problem, who are engaged in charity, that you see a profound impact on culture and on the local situation. And we've bought into this lie about the federal government. You have billions upon billions, in fact, trillions of dollars, if you really look at it, that's flowing through the federal government into these NGOs, really making people wealthy rather than solving problems. And more is going to be exposed. So collectivism doesn't work. The American people hopefully will wake up to that and see what is happening and reject this at the ballot box in the future.
So walk us through what you think New York is going to look like 12 months from today. New York City.
Well, either Mamdani is going to change his tune dramatically and realize that he can't give everything away, from World Cup tickets to free buses to things like that. And he's going to be modified by the New York electorate. Or you're going to see what you're seeing in California, and that is businesses and folks making strategic decisions to look elsewhere, where the tax climate is better, where there's a promotion of the entrepreneurial spirit. There is a partnership between business and government to grow jobs, and not this constant claim that the problem is entrepreneurism and capitalism.
So crime is going to be out of control, right? We already know that. That's one result of this, because there's no cops there. They're not hiring any. So crime is out of control. It will be, you're not going to be able to go down the street. But if you look at what they did, you can't leave the city if you own property. So you wanted to sell it and get out. You can't do it now. So you're stuck there. You're stuck with the property. And if you own multifamily housing, the rent controls are going to be cemented in. You're not going to be able to get any rent. You're not going to be able to raise the rent, and therefore you don't have the money to fix the problems. They already said, if you can't fix the problems, we're going to have to take it over. So you can't raise the rents. You can't borrow the money. You don't have any money. You can't fix the problems with the housing. So then New York City just takes it over, and they seize that property. So, but you can't leave. So you're stuck there. I mean, there's actually a diabolical brilliance in what they've done. You can't leave, Phil. You're stuck there.
Well, California is trying something similar with the billionaire tax proposal to trap folks there. There have been blue states who have tried to retroactively tax people who were there and have since left. Look, anytime you buy into this collective allocation of resources, you're trading away freedom. You're trading away your ability on the false promises, your ability to build your own future on the false promise that government can do all this better than you can. And there's great risk in that, and New York is facing that risk.
Phil, lace them up and lace them tight, baby. It's going to be quite the ride, and I'm glad you're going to be along for it the whole year. Thank you for all you do, Phill Kline. Hey, people want to follow you. By the way, Phil, former Attorney General, Kansas. I guess he's happy to be Chiefs are going to Kansas City, Kansas, getting out of Missouri. By the way, his Democratic governor in there negotiating quite the deal. Interesting. Phil, people want to follow you, Liberty University. Where do they go?
Phill Kline, hashtag Phill Kline.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks for being with us. Don't be
Thank
so
you.
depressed. Bill, I'm sorry the Chiefs didn't make the playoffs. I, for one, don't feel sorry for you because you've had like this amazing run. And so no sympathy here.
Well,
Sorry.
yeah, John, you haven't been able to say that in 10 years. I understand why you need to say it every other sentence. Get it in now. Next year, you won't be able to.
10 years you've been in the playoffs. Although the Titans did knock you out one year. And I think
keep working it.
It's back when we actually had a team that, had a shot to get in the playoffs instead of winning 2 games. Thanks, Phil, for being with us. Hapless Chiefs fan. Thank you for being with Julio Gonzalez next.